Hello dear fellas, welcome to our newly launched channel Chalk and Duster. Here we will try our level best to make your fundamentals more clear and crisp. So without wasting much time, let's start today's lecture. So today's domain will be immunology, and today we will talk about antibodies. So in this worldwide pandemic situation, you must have heard somewhere about plasma therapy as a treatment for the COVID-19 patients, right? Well, you might be thinking, what is the its relationship with antibodies? To your surprise, it is the antibodies that are major immunological molecules present in the plasma of the patient that helps in the process. So coming to today's learning objectives, first, we'll see what is an antibody, and then we'll learn about the basics of antibody, and finally you will get to know about different structural features that are present in the antibody molecules. So let's start with introduction. So what are antibodies? Antibodies are basically glycoprotein molecules. Glyco means it will have attached carbohydrate moiety, and the protein molecule with this attached carbohydrate moiety will protect the organism from pathogenic attacks. These molecules are also called as immunoglobulin molecules, as they participate in providing immunity to the organism. So the question arises, from where does these antibody protein molecules are produced in your body? The answer is the B cells. The B cells present in your body is providing the source of the antibody molecules. And the antibody molecule comes in two general form, that is the membrane bound form, which is found in the plasma membrane or the cell surface of the B cells, and there it can recognize the pathogens and thereby carry out its desired function. Otherwise, this antibody molecule can be secreted from the specialized kind of B cell that are called plasma cells, and this type of antibodies will be present in your body, and there they will search for the pathogens present in your blood. All of these antibodies, whether membrane bound or secreted form, they share the same structural features, and also they have the common functions of protecting the organism from pathogenic attack. So let's see when and where these two types of antibodies, that is membrane bound and secreted form of antibodies, are found in our body. So here in this picture you can see there is a resting B cell which is colored yellow, and the BCR, they are actually the antibody molecules that are found in the surface of the B cell. And when this resting B cell comes in contact with a pathogen, here it is a bacterium, then this particular B cell can differentiate into a more functionally and structurally adapted form, that is plasma cell, and this plasma cell now not express the antibody molecule in its surface, rather it secretes the antibody outside the cell, and these secreted antibodies can recognize the pathogen, that is the bacterium, and help its clearance from our body. So that is how this resting B cell differentiates into plasma cell and helps in the clearance of the pathogen from our body. So after knowing how important they are, it might be interesting to know what are the structural features of the molecule. So here you are, this is a schematic showing an antibody molecule and its features. It consists of 4 polypeptide chains, and among these, the dark blue chains are called heavy chains. Why it is called so, we will talk about later. And the light blue chains or boxes are called light chains. And this is the X-ray crystallographic structure of the same antibiotic molecule. And you can see the light chains are colored in yellow and green, and the heavy chains are colored in red and blue. So what are the major structural features the antibody molecule includes? So first is the Fab and Fc. They are the two major fragments of this antibody molecule. So Fab means fragment antigen binding. It means if you will digest the antibody molecule with some proteases, then you can cleave it in various fragments. Like the one is Fab, fragment antigen binding. It means the fragment that will bind to the antigen. Actually this is the Fab portion. An antibody molecule generally contains 2 Fab. It means it has 2 antigen binding regions and 1 Fc. The below portion is the Fc. Fc means fragment crystallizable. It means it is the portion that is actually helps in the doing the effector function of the antibody molecule. Next comes the 4 polypeptide chains. It means our antibody molecule has 4 polypeptide chains, as you can see in the above figure. And these polypeptide chains can be categorized into heavy or light chain, and this heavy chain means it has higher molecular mass compared to the light chain. The next property of the antibody molecule is the disulfide bridge. Yes, this protein molecule, to attain its specific kind of structural and functional property, it might need some non-covalent bonding or interaction to hold these 4 polypeptides together, and this is where the disulfide bridge role comes into picture. This disulfide bridge, as you can see in the picture, is present in the same chain and also is connecting two types of chain, like the heavy chain and light chain are also connected by the disulfide bridge. Even the heavy chains are also connected by disulfide bridge. Next is the hinge. So this is the hinge region. Actually, as you can see, this is the hinge region, and the hinge is not present in all type of antibody molecules but are present in alpha, gamma and delta. These 3 kinds of heavy chains only possess the hinge region. And one thing to note here, that this hinge region is rich in a specific kind of amino acid that is called proline. So this hinge region is present in a specific kind of amino acid that is called proline. And as you can see, that is marked in the picture itself, the hinge region. Now in the next slide we will see this hinge region is very sensitive to be cleaved by a protein that is named a protease that is called as a papain. So this papain protease can cleave the antibody molecule at this specific site of hinge. So this is again the same antibody molecule, but it is the schematic is shown very differently. That is, it is showing even in the Fab segment and even in the heavy chain and light chain, they are distributed into 2 sub categories. That is, the heavy chain has some V region and C region. So what does this V and C region means? V means variable region and C means constant region. Both the heavy and light chain has V and C region. The V regions are generally located towards the N terminal of the polypeptide chain. This is the N terminal and this is the C terminal of the heavy chain, and this is the N terminal of the light chain and this is the N terminal of the heavy chain. So the V portions are located towards the N termini of the polypeptide chain, and the constant regions or C regions are located towards the C termini of the polypeptide chain. And here you can see this is the papain cleavage site, which is just at the hinge of the antibody molecule. And earlier I have talked about the carbohydrate moiety in the antibody molecule. So this is where you can see in the previous slide, you can see this is the carbohydrate molecule that is attached to the antibody. And here you can see intrachain disulfide bond. It means the disulfide bond found in the same chain, and interchain disulfide bond means linking the 2 type of chains. This in the variable region itself, there is hypervariable regions which helps the antibody in recognize the various kind of pathogens that are found in the nature. So as you can see, both heavy and light chain contains the N-terminal variable region and the C-terminal constant region, and this heavy chain can be categorized into various types like alpha, gamma, mu, epsilon and delta, and these subcategories of heavy chain leads to the classification of our antibody molecule into various subtypes, like the one that having alpha heavy chain is called as IgA, and the one having gamma heavy chain is called as IgG, and so on. Generally the heavy chains have a molecular mass of 50 to 70 kilodalton approx, and the amino acid length of these heavy chains are generally 450 amino acid. And the light chains, generally two varieties of light chains are there, that is kappa and lambda are the light chain subtypes, and the molecular mass of this light chain are 250 kilodalton approx. And how much amino acids they have? Actually they have 220 amino acids. As you can see, this upper portion is the antigen binding, and this region below Fc region, this is the Fc region, is responsible for the biological activity of the protein or the antibody molecule. So coming to the protease action on antibody, so whatever structural features nowadays we are availing very freely in the literature, they are due to the pioneering research done by some scientists during that time. And how they come to know about the structural details of the antibody molecule? By digesting the antibody molecule with varieties of proteases. To name a few, this is the pepsin digestion. It means this is the normal antibody molecule. When you digest the antibody molecule with pepsin protease, then it will be converted or it will be digested into this type of fragment called Fc in this Fab2. It means the two antigen binding portion of the antibody molecule, they are linked, and the Fc fragments. If you digest the antibody molecule, this is the first pathway and this is the second pathway. It means when you will digest the antibody molecule with beta-mercaptoethanol, which is a reducing agent, then what will happen? Whatever disulfide bridge is present or linking the polypeptide chains, they will be reduced, and all the four polypeptide chains will be separated. So earlier we studied that this antibody molecule consists of four polypeptide chains. So this is how they came to know. By digesting the antibody molecule with mercaptoethanol, they came to know that yes, this antibody molecule consists of four polypeptide chains. So this is first, second and third and fourth. So by digestion with beta-mercaptoethanol, they came to know that the antibody molecule consists of four polypeptide chain. Then comes the third type of protease digestion, that is papain digestion. This specific protease is found in your papaya, so that is why the name is papain. So this protease, when this protease acts on the antibody molecule, it cleaves the molecule into three fragments, or two of them are Fab, that is fragment antigen binding, and the third one is fragment crystallizable or Fc. Some of you might be aspiring for IIT JAM, CSR UGC NET, GATE, NII or JGBLS. Well, we will help you in your journey. So at the end of our every lecture, we will discuss some relevant questions from the previous year NET, GATE or JGBLS from the same topic. So here comes today's question, and this question is taken from June 2016 CSR NET. And as you can read, immunoglobulins have the therapeutic application in cancer treatment, infection clearance, targeted drug delivery, and for this region, immunoglobulins are briefly cleaved by the enzyme pepsin, and following are some of the statements regarding the brief digestion of the protein by pepsin. So the first option is telling the Fab2, it means the fragment containing two antigen binding site is generated, which retains the antigen binding activity. It means this fragment has the normal property of antigen binding as that of the antibody molecule as a whole. So yes, this option is correct. Next is the Fab fragment having antigen binding activity and the crystallizable Fc fragment are generated. But as you have learned earlier, there is Fab2 is produced, not Fab single is produced after pepsin digestion. So this option is wrong. The fragment generated on incubation with a proper antigen forms a visible precipitate. Obviously, there will be precipitate formation on interaction with proper antigen, as this fragment Fab2 has retained the antigen binding activity. Next option is the fragment generated is incapable. Here it is written incapable, so that is why it is wrong, because the fragment that is generated by pepsin digestion is capable of binding antigen and that forms visible precipitate. So 1 and 3 are the right answer. Here it is asking which above the statements are correct. So mind it, you should read the question carefully. Sometimes it is written incorrect and sometimes it is written correct. So here the correct options are 1 and 3 and our correct option will be option 2. So with this note, I would like to thank you all for watching the video completely.